skies are darkening the world, you know. The hills no longer green. Like the animals, your blood will flow. Dreaming of this Christmas.
Smiling wide with empty eyes, I'll find you. You're a lot of fun, just like your friend. You're hiding, but I'm deep inside your mind. You'll die 1,000 times, do you wanna try again? You're tired of running, nowhere to hide it. I'm getting closer every second.
Behind you.
There's so many souls to play with, so little time. Not long till I find you. Run for your life. You're in my world now. You're joining your friends. I'm coming to take your soul. In the end, you can't run.
A girl has a dream to escape her horrible life and to be the best at what she did. This woman suffered great hardships her whole life, wanting to please everybody around her in order to feel accomplished, but it would never be good enough. Not what you were expecting when you saw this, huh? Malware's story was not what I was expecting, but I mean this in a good way. It actually had a bit of depth to it. And when I first saw her, I thought she was a fun play off of Rewrite, which in a way she is. But her story involves her creator having a hard life and this entity having different forms it can take. Rosie, or Malware, or Rewrite Amy, is her own entity. And while her story involves Rewrite, it's not canon to Sonic Rewrite, but it is an unofficial extension of that story. Rosie is a much more unique character, one that I've come to appreciate and be impressed by. And also, I will not lie, she is very adorable. But there are horrors to the story, of which you'll come to find out. Now, let's jump in and try to explain the story of Rosie. Malware's story starts with her creator named Monica, and she's the one I was talking about at the beginning of this video. The protagonist faced constant problems with her family mistreating her, being reminded how she is unwanted or unloved. Her father and mother both criticized her at every corner, but would also praise her when it fit their agenda. This would be very rare, and it made Monica want to do everything just to get that praise again. Though this would oftentimes be in vain, though the one who hurt her the most was her uncle, as he was the person she would confide in the most, only for him to treat her terribly as well. Her parents would often not want to be around her or didn't want the responsibility, so she would be left with her uncle, who was also a drug user. Oftentimes, he would switch between hugging her and caring for her to beating her when he was high and or drunk. And after it all, he would apologize. Spoken through pathetic tears, he would plead to the child and ask for forgiveness. Monica could smell something strange. She had to hide because she knew what that meant. It's because of this she never learned true affection. Now, as if this wasn't bad enough, Monica's suffering was only amplified by an entity known as Phobia, who feeds off of her fears. Phobia itself doesn't necessarily have a name, but that's what Monica calls it, so it can be understood. Phobia is a genderless entity, but mostly refers to itself as feminine and feeds off of fear like a parasite. In order for it to stay alive, it has to continuously scare its victims. Think Monsters Inc., but incredibly worse. Phobia can be the death of someone by heart attack or induced paranoia, but it doesn't actually want to do that. Not because of any morality, but because it can't continue to live. She will do anything to ensure her survival and has no concept of empathy or positive human emotion. Phobia is also looking for a vessel to hide in, and further seeks to understand humans so she may study them and understand what truly scares them. Though there is just one problem with Phobia using a human vessel. If it tries to, the human body will decompose instantly and she would have to repeat the process. She seeks a vessel that will not decompose and allows her to exist. which is why Monica is so important. To find out how, we have to fast forward a little when Monica is a little older and is a bit more successful. As you know, Monica's parents were always fighting, and we find out that they had her when they were young, which explains why they might be bitter. A controversial opinion, guys, but I think these parents suck. Nothing she did would ever win their approval. So one day, she decided to choose her dreams over staying with her family, who constantly threw in her face that they threw away everything for her. She decided to chase her dreams and do what made her happy. Though in her older years, she had trouble trying to work in what she loved to do, which was coding. She always wanted to be the world's best coder, but was rejected quite a bit. She was great at learning but had no experience, making her unsuccessful in her job hunt. One day, she was desperate and wanted a place to work, desperate to take anything, and a person would give her that chance. Granted, this person wanted her to work on a pirated Sonic game and improve it, and the person who made it was arrested a long time ago. Perhaps it was a greedy priest who wanted to make money? Sound familiar to you guys? Watch my rewrite videos if Monica had complete freedom in this project, which is something she loved. Free will to do what she wanted so long as it promoted the bootlegged game and got more of an audience. Though this didn't bother Monica, and she locked in. She gave multiple ideas that would pass through, since honestly her boss didn't care, but one of her biggest projects was made, what we later know as malware. Now viewer, this is the time we talk about who malware is in the malware video. Monica thought of creating a manga, just like in Japan, that being Sonic and Friends, which was full of short stories and fun interactions. Interestingly enough, it resonated with a large female audience, so Monica would add new characters, and the character she would add is Rosie, as shown in the picture here. I actually love this art. It's very visually appealing. Most things about the characters are. Okay, right, back to the story. Rosie was obviously meant to be a retake of Amy, and to her surprise, Monica found that this brought in more of an audience and liked the character. Even if she was a joke side character, people really liked her, and eventually, because of this, Rosie was added to the bootleg game she was programming, which would make more people have it. How would she function in-game? Well, Rosie's mechanic was supposed to be an interactive character. She was coded with 2 AIs that would help her adapt herself and learn stuff in-game. She's an enemy at the start, basically imagine the AI of Alien Isolation, specifically the alien. That's how she works as an enemy, which I'm reading this from the doc, but if you don't know, it means that it's a learning AI. In Alien Isolation, they had this xenomorph learn your hiding patterns, and it was terrifying. It would also be able to kind of like track you and go where you go. Whereas if you went to hide in one spot, the xenomorph would check that spot if it found you there the first time. A little off topic, but it was really cool. Once you beat her, she will become an ally who will help you with the same mechanics, making it feel like you were playing with someone else, or perhaps a friend. Depending on how you would interact with her as an ally, she would build her reaction off of that. They have this cute picture of Sonic and Rosie hugging, and it's actually really adorable. You're playing as Sonic in this situation, and I love it. What's interesting is Monica is such a good coder that she made it to where you could make them interact however you want. Even with this, things didn't go exactly as planned with the recreation. Remember how I said this was a bootleg? Well, her boss gets arrested. Monica thinks this is because of copyright, but it goes further than that. Her boss was a follower of the cult that made the original game, and that caused people to, well, game and themselves. Also, a fun fact I only briefly mentioned, in the Rewrite FNF mod, when Rewrite goes to put his hand to his head like this, at this point, you're powerless to him, and he's instructing you to do the same. This is a lame explanation of this, and there's more narrative to it. So when it references him game ending or people telling them to, it's this. Our protagonist gets investigated by the police and prohibited the release of the game, though Monica is able to bounce back from this and find a new job. Though it's boring and she has no creative wiggle room. She was supposed to do her work and that was it. Now, the story is a work in progress, but so far it seems to be pretty interesting. It's revealed that Phobia uses malware as a vessel, though malware still exists as its own entity. It goes kind of like this. Malware has a zipper on her design, but it's not just for show. If it's zipped down, this means Phobia is in control. If it's zipped up, it's an entity named Meatware. If it's normal, like this, it's malware. Malware is pretty neutral and simply wants to complete its objective. It's a learning AI, so sometimes Monica tries to use it to get help or reach out to people, but Phobia can use it to corrupt computers. Now, this all happens because it's contained in a zip archive, and in the zip folder, it contains the entity. The moment you get this zip file, this thing has pretty much taken your computer. So they're all different beings with different objectives, and malware has her own things that she seeks to carry out. That's the basics of the story. If you guys would like to read it, I'll include a link in the description. It's still a work in progress, so more is being worked out, but there are a few fun facts to this character. While it may not be canon to Sonic Rewrite, they are said to have a chaotic relationship. At first, Sonic didn't like malware, but warmed up to her in this canon. Sashiro, the creator, says they aren't capable of romance or anything like that, but encourages people to draw them together. After all, I can't lie, they are a very fun duo and look very cute. There have been a lot of animations featuring the two interacting. There's even one where they put malware in the Sonic FNF mod. Osprey does an amazing job on this animation, and seeing Rewrite blush is a little endearing. How could you be mad at this? But he's gotta ruin it by getting all spooky because boyfriend showed up. This is likely a work in progress that might turn into something else. I don't know if it'll be like a full FNF mod or if it's just going to involve Rosie and make a full animation, but I guess we'll see. But Kirby Popstar, creator of Sonic.ROM, one of my favorite cute versions of Fan Sonic, did a couple of art pieces of the two. I have never seen an EXE get so much fan art in a short period of time, and for good reason. Malware is absolutely adorable, though she definitely has her spooky side to her. Don't get me started on whatever the hell Meatware is. You guys will have to wait for that. For now, I want to talk about her appearance and outcome memories, since she was added as an Amy skin in that game. She even has her own voice lines, though I can never really understand her. If you think this is adorable, she also appears in VR chat, which I'm always surprised to see for some reason. I mean, it makes sense. She takes some inspiration from Sonic Rewrite, and she fits into that world pretty well. Her interactions with Rewrite can either be really wholesome or super chaotic, likely both at the same time. Just remember though, malware functions differently depending on the zipper. So while she comes across as a lovable program, she has one goal. And depending on who's in control, things could get bad pretty quickly. There is plenty more to know about this character, like how Phobia functions and whatever the hell Meatware is, and in time, I'll cover it. The amount of support that Rosie has got makes sense as the design is simple, recognizable, and incredibly adorable, which is perfect for a horror setting, or using it to lure people in. I know you may look at this and think it's cute, but we've got no idea what it's fully capable of. I mean, its name is malware, for God's sake. That's kind of like the whole thing. Oh wait, no, but guys, look at it. Its name is malware, but I mean, it's adorable. If you guys are believing that, all of you are screwed. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Just like Sonic Rewrite, it will lure you in. So, don't download any zip files that seem suspicious because it might be malware. Subscribe, and remember, stay freaky.